Hi, welcome to a video on how to replace a truma water pump. So if you have a caravan or a motorhome and you have one of this style of external water pump, I'm going to show you how to replace this. This has gone faulty and I have a replacement here, and I'm going to show you just how to swap them over. The impellers have been chewed up and we had lost water pressure. A new one of these is around £50 and this pump here was just over £20. This is a Comet VIP Plus, which is what this is. It will say it's a truma ultraflow, but when you look on the base just there, you see it's made by VIP. So it's, as you can see, a like for like pump, exactly the same. So we're going to fit that pump on here and save ourselves about £25. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. I'll pop you up in the stand and we will get on with it. Right, so the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a screwdriver, some wire cutters and strippers if you have them. If not, just a pair of standard side cutters. You're going to need a small and large connector, like these spade connectors. We're going to start by depressing the clips on here, and this will allow you to pop the top cover off of here. So move that out of the way. And the same on the opposite side. And you can lift the top off. Inside you can see we have the two connectors. All we're going to do is wriggle them off. Like so. You can, if you want to, resolder these back on, but we are going to replace those. What you can do with this is you can give it a twist and a wiggle and you can slide it off. If you don't want to play around with this end, you can leave that as it is. What we're going to do now, I'm just going to chop these off. Bring this wire round to where we can access it. There we are. As you can see, that this is loose in here. What I'm going to do is I've actually got a piece of wire here. You can use string. All I'm going to use this for is to pull the cable back up through this blue sheathing, because once this is through, I think it might be a little bit difficult to try and pull something back. So what I'm going to do is tape the wires together and use it as a pull string. If you have got some water based silicone suitable for food products, you could always put a little bit of silicone on this and help it to slide through. So with the other end you have this type of clip. What we're going to do with this clip is get your screwdriver, pop it in here and just give it a little pry apart, and what you'll see is it lifts it off the two retaining clips, 1, 2, and then with a pull and a wiggle. That doesn't want to quite come. Okay, so what we're going to do then is just completely undo the clip. 1, 2, and on the end, pop it up and over. There we are. Right, the clip is now being released. We can reuse that clip, and we shall reuse that clip. You can see that we've now popped that out of the way. Right. It's like wrestling with a snake. I'm going to use a screwdriver just to break that seal around there. Didn't mean literally break the plastic, but it seems to be what's happened in that. Right, there we are. So you can see we've got the pipe off the adapter. What we should do is we shall remove the adapter in a minute. What we're going to do now is we're just going to feed this draw cable through the plastic through here. So you see now that goes in, it comes out. It's now out here. See how that's going to make our life a lot easier in a minute. Cut that off. And there we are. So we now have our end of our pump. So I guess the tube that they use here is bigger on the pipe here. It's a bit strange. I'm just going to give that a squeeze with a pair of pliers or vice grips. Let's use some vice grips. See what happens. Okay, so it's been super glued, so we'll have to re-glue that on in a minute. Just remove the piece of plastic from in here, and there we are. Cleaned the end of that out, so it's all ready to go back on. Put a little bit of super glue on there in a minute and we'll glue that back on. So now time to re-install the pump. So we're going to remove this one now, we no longer need that. Make sure, put that on there for a second. And we're going to take the end of the cable and we're going to attach it onto here. Just going to remove this piece here, we no longer need that. Same as before. Put this in there nice and tight. There we are. And we're going to use that then to draw this cable back up in him. Just like so. See how it's going in there? Just pull that out of there. Holding it out straight will certainly help. So I'm just going to make sure it's got the least path of least resistance as we pull this up through here. And of course, some lubrication would help. If you've got something that you can use that's suitable for water. There we are. That cable's out that end. What we're going to do with this is we're going to put this back on here. And that can go back on over there. Now some standard super glue. Just going to do a couple of small, typical, I was going to say a couple of small dabs of super glue, and then there goes half the tube. Right, oh well, at least it's going to be sealed. Right, and I don't think we'll ever have to replace this again, so pull the rest of this cable through. We can do this back up. That's what you're going to do. Okay, so I gave up with the stainless steel original clip and ended up just putting a stainless steel Jubilee clip on there instead. So that end is now done. We've replaced the actual filter. So at this end, obviously we need to now put the connections on here. So we're going to measure our length. We're going to want a little bit more. So about here. Cut this off. We're going to want to get some of the cable out. So we're just going to strip this back. If you haven't got fancy cutters, which don't work on that, just use a good old Stanley blade. Just go easy. Trim back the clear sheath. If you're still watching and you want one of these pumps, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can find one. They're a Comet VIP pump, and they are the pump that Truma use as their as they don't make their own pumps. And these, just going to strip the ends off. Again, if you haven't got fancy strippers, just use the knife or the side cutters. There we are, perfect amount there. And we're going to get big one's a blue one. Put it in. These have got a little crimp section. I'm just going to crimp that in there. A bit of squeeze. Same on this side. And then I'm going to put it back together. We are done. So this will work with a Truma, the whale. In fact, if you could upgrade your pump, if you want to get a higher flow pump. Just going to push them on. That one's a bit loose, so what we're going to do with that, just going to give it a little squeeze. So the last thing you want is a bad connection. Quite tight, but perfect. We're just going to clip the lid back on. You can get new O-rings for these as well. And there we are. We've just saved ourselves £25 and got a spare spare pump to go back in the van. So I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, just give us a thumbs up, like the video, and yeah, if you want to see more DIY content, vacuum cleaner repairs and all sorts and everything else, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.